So, we meet again, Neil Cross, for the last time.
That's right, Neil Cross's tenure as a writer for this show ends with this haunted house episode. It is based mostly in fiction, as both characters Alec Palmer and Emma Grayling are bigged up like they exist in reality, when in fact they don't.
You are Major Alec Palmer, member of the Baker Street Irregulars, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, specialise in espionage, sabotage, and reconnaissance behind enemy lines.
The only reality that can be found is that the Baker Street Irregulars was a pseudonym for the Special Operations Executive, an organisation the Doctor has essentially just described to you. So, was the episode any good? As always, that's what we're here to find out. I only really say this to the few stray viewers that are watching this as their first Did It Suck review. There must be at least one of you, right? Make yourselves known in the comments.
Hello, I'm looking for a ghost.
And you are?
Ghostbusters.
I quite like this opening, more because it takes a giant shit over the series 12 episode The Haunting of Villa Diodati than anything else. Instead of the heroes appearing on the doorstep frightened as little children, the Doctor and Clara show confidence in helping out with this rather frightening situation Alec and Emma find themselves in. It seems like this was something the pair rehearsed beforehand instead of showing up unprepared for the spooks that await them. On the surface, it would seem a little odd having the Doctor spelling out who this pair are to the audience. Only with the reveal that he's pretending to work for British military intelligence does it become clear he's just trying to make his authority clear as crystal. Even the assertion that he's here to assess the health and safety of this operation matches up beautifully with the introduction of the Health and Safety at Work Act, introduced in the same year this episode is set. Speaking of sets, the sets look fantastic, especially with all these gadgets and gizmos set up on the desk. The set designers also took the liberty of creating the big board of ghostly photographs. Sadly, not enough liberty was taken to eliminate duplicates, creepy though they may be. Adding to the spooky atmosphere is this concept that the ghost has been on the grounds even before the house was built. It hints at an ancient and unknown barbarism that the ghost may have been subjected to in life. Adding to this is a rather magnificent sequence where Clara and the Doctor investigate the house. Things moving in the shadows, funny dialogue to keep the spirits up.
And ignorance is, what's the opposite of bliss?
Carlisle.
Yes.
All that was great. Things start getting weird by the end of the first act though, with a strange mirror disc thing appearing in the main room. I liked how they built up the tension by having the ghost repeating a reversed version of her "help me" dialogue. Right before she screams it and simultaneously is seen slapped on the wall in that icy cold style. To calm themselves from that rather traumatizing experience, the ladies share some whiskey. Sadly, it winds up serving a rather forced confession out of Emma that she has those special feelings for Alec.
You do know how he feels about you, don't you? You, of all people. Because it's obvious. It sticks out like a big chin.
I'm not even sure how Clara can make this assertion considering she's only been around these two for less than 15 minutes. The only time that it was obvious, Clara wasn't even in the room. Meanwhile, the Doctor relays to the audience Alec's wartime activities.
Disrupting U-boat operations across the North Sea. Sabotaging railway lines across Europe. Operation Gibbon, the one with the carrier pigeons, brilliant.
They could have cut out most of this and just got straight to the point of why a World War II veteran wound up hunting ghosts. It's got some nice symmetry, him being haunted by those he sent off to die, and choosing to be haunted by a genuine spirit seems to act as the redemption for his soul. We then enter a rather intriguing sequence where the Doctor goes back in time taking photographs. It all seems rather distracting until you realise why we didn't get given the plan until returning to 1974. Working in the narrative's favour of keeping up the mystery. Given all the clues he's accumulated up until this point, the Doctor clearly doesn't think this ghost is from the human era of history.
When are we?
About 6 billion years ago. It's a Tuesday, I think.
It was rather bleakly fun to see the end of the world scenario, but from the point of view of somebody standing on Earth at the end of its days. When Clara figures out what exactly the pair had just witnessed, it produces a cracking emotional moment as she realises,
To you, I'm a ghost. We're all ghosts to you.
and in response, the Doctor says,
No. You are the only mystery worth solving.
Proceeding to walk away in typical TV drama fashion. Now, on the surface, it seems like a direct line of dialogue that Clara right now is his main priority because she is the impossible girl. On the other hand, her particular query was relating to all of humanity, as though his obsession with human beings has just been put into question. Is he referring to the mystery of life itself, the purpose of life in the universe aside from perpetuating itself? This segment went so deep and so fast, and I goddamn loved it. Even the fact the Doctor just walks away from her is such a blokey thing to do, but deeper still, we can surmise that he is hiding his own lack of empathy for human beings right here. In the following scene, we find out why the photographs of the ghosts see her in the exact same position in each one. I really like the idea of a time travel pioneer traveling back in time only for something to go terribly wrong and wind up in a pocket universe. The Doctor doesn't really do a great job of explaining this problem though, doing so with two balloons he magicked out of thin air to please children. Even I was left a little confused as to how the Doctor managed to manipulate this old-timey camera to unmask the ghost and see into the pocket universe. The gang plan their rescue and we see the Doctor and Clara once again running out to the TARDIS. I'm not sure why the Doc didn't just park it closer to the house's entrance to prevent further deluge and legwork. Even all the cabling he wires up to the house must be assumed to be waterproof too. The Doctor then jumps into the pocket universe, a mystery forest asteroid thing where he bumps into the missing time traveler named Hiller. It seemed strange with all this marvelous technology he conjured up that he didn't think to produce a trail of some kind to prevent getting lost, which is exactly what happens. At least he brought a big red bike clock. Miraculously, the sound of Emma's voice and an echo house appearing in the midst guide the Doctor home. Thanks to some bad audio mixing, I have on both viewings of this episode thought Emma's voice was the trapped time traveler trying to get the Doctor's attention. Hiller gets rescued, with the Doctor still stuck in the pocket universe. It's a shame that on top of the ghosts, as well as being in a misty forest with sudden cliff edges, the writers felt the need to include this miniature Lazarus experiment monster thing. It might make for good spooks, but it isn't intrinsic to the characters in a meaningful or satisfying way. Clara, in the meantime, tries to rescue the Doctor. She doesn't get any help from Alec, Emma, or Hiller the Time Traveller, so she tries to sort the whole thing out herself.
Come on! Oh, let me in, you grumpy old cow!
As much as I despise the episode this line references, Jenna Coleman performs her desperation of it beautifully here. The TARDIS produces a visual interface of Clara and not the Doctor. It only seems to serve the comedy of this scene because just as the door opens here, Emma is able to open another door to rescue the Doctor too. I think I would have preferred it if the TARDIS had stayed in place for its own safety here, urging Clara to be more patient and to encourage Emma more delicately. Instead, we bear witness to a rushed Deus Ex Machina to get this monster off the Doctor and whisk him back to reality.
The Doctor is in the pocket universe.
You can enter the pocket universe.
The entropy would drain the energy from my heart. In 4 seconds, I'd be stranded. In 10, I'd be dead.
The TARDIS either doesn't understand its own bullshit, or they should have just let Emma and Clara combine their rescue efforts. To make matters worse, they repeat these stupid antics to round off the episode and drag it out even further. The time traveler could potentially be Emma and Alec's descendant. Sure, fine, whatever. Shame she gets absolutely fuck all characterization or dialogue in this episode though, tying the unstoppable force of love to the monster as well, just to flesh it out. I wonder whose decision that was. So, did it suck? Not really. The performances from the main two are great, especially as this was Coleman's first episode filmed as Clara. It's a nice tightly compacted episode with some chills and interesting character motivations. The peak of this episode was the segment with the Doctor taking photographs through time, and the idea of a time traveler being stuck in a pocket universe was interesting too. Sadly, there are a lot of points of contention in this episode, most of it stemming from the essential monster and the TARDIS saving the day at the end. The episode showed some great promise in the first 2 acts, but becomes crazy stupid by the end. I give Hyde a 6 out of 10. It seemed strange with all this marvelous technology he conjured up. Oh my god. Why does my nose always get so itchy when I'm recording? It's not like just, tip of the nose. It's always like on the inside of my left nostril. Sorry for the specifics, ladies.
How about new?